Let's go one step further. Let's talk about digitalization. So we are here on a bit slippery ground, and I hope that I will be able to bring you on board and convince you about at least some of the benefits, and to ensure that you are aware of the true value you can introduce in your processes if you considered any level of digitalization. The benefits of digitalization you can see on this slide are taken from literature someplace, and I filtered them out by removing some of the benefits that I don't consider relevant for the topic of this training. But let's go quickly through those general terms and try to provide very practical understanding. Improved efficiency and improved productivity is our major life objective. With a properly, formally defined goal and IT tool that is aligned to this formal description, your work will be definitely more productive. Lots of the things we do during one working day are non-productive, and there are studies to support that. The rate of this non-productive work will depend on the specialization and the actual kind of office work. If I look at what I typically do during one workday, there are very few hours of work that make me proud of myself. For example, many of the things you do are related to fixing something that shouldn't have been fixed because it was supposed to work from the start. When considering your daily tasks, in many cases, you will easily realize that most of this work was practically automated. You're doing it with 5% of your brain, if not less. And anything that can be done that does not deserve a major engagement of your brain can be automated. Computers are very good in doing some repetitive, clearly defined work. The main point of using the digitalization approach is that you remove all this work for which you actually don't use your brain or use very little of it, and assign it to computers so you can do the things in which you excel. And decision making, creative thinking, creating knowledge by developing mental models based on associations, logical relationships, and stuff like that. Increased quality benefit is obvious. The new, more efficient approach will of course be easily reflected to your customers, to researchers. Because if you are better, if you are more efficient in doing your work, you will be faster and they will be happier. Not that only waiting time will be reduced, but also the service will be better, meaning that you will not make errors because you will be guided by some of the processes. For example, data validation, the constraints that are inherent part of the structures that we will be developing. You will be literally pushed by the value of data. Lower costs are again obvious consequence of the previous effects. If you work less, then the costs are definitely lower. When we talk about the customer experience, we should take into account that the IT tools we are talking about will be also used by the researchers. They're engaged with the tools. They can use the online tools, for example, to submit a question or to make a service request rather than coming to your office and talking to you in person. And in doing so, they will use some form, some structure that will also help you to easily classify the service, or the tool will automatically do this classification for you. To do easier allocation of personnel who can help you in implementing the service. And of course, the customer experience is better because they don't have to go out of their beds after a long party night to resolve some issue. They can ask anything from the comfort of their dorm rooms by using a phone or computer. They can track the process of fulfillment if it's a complex one, and they will be notified when they receive the answer. Communication is smoothed because it is directed by using the AI tools which help express the problem easily. Collaboration is improved because IT tool can connect you not only to your customers but also to other offices and external stakeholders or service provision processes and help making the collaboration for the purpose of service fulfillment smooth. Better transparency and consequently better decision making is facilitated by simple fact that you now have all the fruits on the table, even without asking for it. The tool will do this for you. By looking at data, you can see the whole big picture and you can make, of course, better decisions. How about process optimization? When you have the digitalization, it means you already have processes. There is no one without another. It's not possible to implement a tool if you don't know in advance what kind of activities will be implemented. what will be the outlook of the process. And if you know the outlook of the process, then you can easily change it, optimize it. Often, the tools provide different types of analysis and visualizations for this purpose, which you can use to re-engineer the process, which will be then reflected also in how the online app works. Enhanced data collection simply means that you can collect much more data with the IT tool than you would be able to do it without it, even beyond the predefined data structures. For example, the online tool can provide you with the analytics data of the web user. So I'm talking a lot about tools. The first thing that we often hear when we talk about digitalization is, okay, but what about the human side? Remember, humans come on board when some brain is needed. There are many human exclusive capabilities that are so important for this process, such as creative thinking and decision making. But still, that's not a human touch those romantic souls or opportunists, whatever term fits you better, are talking about. Believe it or not, there are tools which could demonstrate this human touch as a part of the service provision process. And I would like just shortly to present Euraxis Personal Assistant to you. Demo of the first completely automated Euraxis service desk, a chatbot.